Hello, everyone. I'm Irma Baker, and welcome to our show. We're doing things a little differently right now. As you all know, I'm sure you're all getting used to having people come to you from different places other than the studio, and that's exactly what we're doing today. And it's my great pleasure, as we have had so many times, to welcome our guest, coming also from a remote location, and that's Mark Ludwig. Mark, as I'm sure any of you who have watched the show before, you've met Mark before, and he is a naturalist with the Medina County Park District. So Mark, welcome. So good to have you with us in this cyberspace.
Thanks for inviting me.
So today we're going to be talking about the Medina Parks in this very unusual time. It seems like there is a lot of things that we have had to make adjustments. Nobody expected this type of a situation where we are socially distancing, we're wearing masks. Luckily for this show, we don't have to wear masks because you're in your house, I'm in my house. But the park districts have had to deal with this on a totally different level. Tell us a little bit about what this kind of a pandemic means to the park district.
Sure. Well, yeah, basically most of the jobs are typical, business as usual kind of thing. But it's interesting with my particular job as a naturalist that leads programs for the public. In the past we could have, a good day, 70, 80 people, on a hike. And that's, obviously is not happening anymore. I'll talk more about kind of what we're doing with the smaller numbers, smaller groups. But yeah, that it's been tricky for us in particular. But as far as maintenance and resource management and jobs like that, they are basically doing the same kind of thing. All of our parks are open. The only thing that is closed right now are our two visitor centers, Wolf Creek Environmental Center and then Susan Hambley Nature Center. Headquarters is also closed until further notice, but all the parks are open.
Well, Mark, when you say that all the parks are open, what does that really mean? If somebody comes, are there restroom facilities? Are there water fountains?
Sure.
What are the picnic areas or anything like that? Tell us a little bit about what, if somebody who has not gone to the park since this all started, what can they expect?
Sure. Like the governor's guidelines, first of all, our water fountains are closed. They are turned off. So we recommend if you're coming out to the park, especially a warm day, to bring water. if you're bringing your dog, pets out, make sure you bring water for them. As far as just their general guidelines of, and I'm reading this off the list off our website, but if you're not feeling well, stay home. Obviously, the distancing is very important. I think everybody is used to that by now. The 6 foot distancing. If you're not able to keep, that 6 foot distance, we obviously encourage people to wear masks. And then, the normal thing like they teach you in grade school, cover your mouth and nose if you sneeze. But yeah, we're trying to keep everybody safe. So our parks are open, but just, maintain that distance is very important.
What has the response been to the reopening of the parks? Are you seeing a good turnout of people?
Huge numbers. I mean, it's amazing. The people and that's important, get outside. Yeah, a lot of the videos that I'll be talking about in a few minutes that I've been doing, that's kind of been ending the videos with get outside because there's, a couple of things. And the number one reason is it's just, it's good to get out. It relieves stress. It's, such a positive outlet just to go for a walk in nature. And so people are, obviously not traveling as much anymore, and the parks are just amazing, just the amount of people that are going to them, which is great.
When you say that there are huge amounts of people, some people who are viewing this show, they might say, "Oh, maybe I don't want to go if there are all those people there." Are there times that are better to be in the park than other times?
Sure. I mean, early morning, in the evening and stuff, probably better. Obviously weekdays, weekends are a little bit more crowded. But the other thing too is we, obviously like the gatherings, we encourage, not more than 10 people, gathering together. So we don't want obviously people all together in these huge groups. So we do encourage that everybody splits up. And in the times that I've been hiking the parks, people have been really great, really respectful distance and just yeah, it's been good.
And really, the park district is very big. You have plenty of space there, so even if there are a lot of people, it doesn't really make a difference as long as you just observe social distancing and
Absolutely.
keep, spread out. I guess that's what I'm
Spread
trying
out.
to
Yeah,
say.
that's a
Spread
good way
out.
to put it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, in your walks around the park, what have you seen that you feel this is something that's really great and maybe different? What should we be looking at now? And this show is going to be broadcast in October. So, what can we look forward to?
So yeah, right now, I mean, and this kind of relates to the next topic that I'm going to talk about is kind of what we're doing. And so we're basically not really leading, and I'll talk more about this in a few minutes, not necessarily leading, big groups of programming or programs, but we do have a really great program that's called Program on a Post. It is basically putting signs up, and I'll show you here. So
Oh,
people
okay.
will come out and they'll see basically programs on a post, we call it. So this was butterflies on a post. So they'll learn about, like, for example, the different families of butterflies. Each stop. I think for the butterfly program, I had maybe 8 or 10 stops with signage on it, just learning about the history of butterflies, the numbers of butterflies, everything about butterflies, the whole life cycle. And also the new addition is we've been using QR codes where they go out and scan these QR codes with their phones, and then it'll link you to a video that'll tell you even more about butterflies. It's kind of like the zoo keys. I don't know if you remember those when you go to the zoo. I don't know if they still have those or not, probably not. But as a kid, that was like a big highlight. You get the zoo key and you go to each animal and you put the key in and you learn more about the animal. This is kind of the same thing with the QR codes. So basically we're doing programs, even though we're not doing program. I mean, it's it's kind of a different way of doing programs, but people are really enjoying it. People are getting out and just really appreciating it. And my coworker, she just had a program on just talking about different plants, like anything from pokeweed to poison ivy to jack in the pulpit. And near those plants, she'll put a sign, and people really just talking to a lot of people. They're saying, "Hey, this is great," just learning more about nature. So that's kind of what to look forward to. We're going to still continue to do that in October and into the fall. The other things, obviously, right now, this is not going to air until October, but we right now in September we have the butterflies that are coming through, the monarchs. But even in October, we'll see a lot of the birds coming back from Canada, migrating through. The leaves are going to be changing color. It's hard to believe it's it's time of year already, but they're going to be changing color, and which is a great time of year to get out. Just a beautiful time of year to get out in our parks for everything, for all kinds of wildlife and plant life.
The parks really, this is not making any difference to the flora or the fauna that's in the parks. If anything, they've had a little break from people being there all the time. But I guess what you're saying is that people have plenty of opportunities to go on these self-led tours because you've put all the pieces in place to help them along the way. Where would they start these self-led tours?
The best place they go to is, and we'll put a link in the description, our website, medinacountyparks.com. That'll list everything that is going on. Currently, there's different tabs as you go to the main page, and you click on those tabs, and this is going to tell you, more information about it. So these different program on a post, they'll tell you specific parks. Usually they're up, I think, right now for about a week and a half or so. But yeah, it's been popular, and it's, like I said, it's a different way of doing programming, but I think people are really appreciating it. The other thing, speaking of program that we have going on, and this will continue to go on until the end of November, is a program called Trekking Through Autumn. So you hike 8 trails, I believe it's 8, and then what you do is after the 8 trails, I'll hold up the form. You can actually print this online. But you check the trails that you hike, turn this in either at headquarters. They have a drop box outside, or you can mail it in. The first year hikers get a backpack, which is pretty nice. And then the second year hikers, or hikers after that, get a pin. So I'll show you this year's pin, which a lot of people probably haven't seen this. I don't know if this is going to focus or not, but it's a great horned owl pin. So you can put this on your backpack or jacket. So that's for the second year, and it's totally free program. It's on your own. You can bring your family out. You hike these trails, and it's a great way, to get outside, and then you earn a little something too at the end of the program. So that runs through the end of November. So November 30th, I believe, is the cutoff date for that. So
that sounds really neat. It's something. So you go through these trails, and you said there were 8 trails there. So at the end of it, then you turn in this form, and then after that you get the backpack if you're a first year, or you get the pin if you're a second or third or fourth, or however many years this has been going on. How would people get those? Are they mailed to them, or are they drop off?
And I had to read this morning before the interview, and it changes all the time. But yeah, basically they'll either mail their form in to the headquarters, yes, or you can drop it off at headquarters in a box. They have like a drop box outside the door. Because they're closed, obviously, and then we would get back to them with usually like a certain time to say, hey, we'll have your backpack outside for you at a certain time at headquarters, or Wolf Creek Environmental Center. We've been doing the same thing with we had a program this summer where they earned T-shirts, which is over right now, but it's the same kind of thing. They kind of email us or call in to figure out a date when they can pick this up. So yeah, it's a little different this year.
Well, I think that people who are viewing our program today are really going to be impressed with just how organized, I guess I want to say, that the park district is. It sounds like your administration has really said, okay, this is the situation. Here's how we're going to deal with it. We're going to make our parks accessible to the public and keep them safe at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you've been going through the park as a naturalist, what are the things that are keeping you busy?
So the biggest thing right now that I've been working on are, believe it or not, videos, which if you look at a lot of naturalists around, the county or other counties in the state, it seems like that's been the theme. But I've been working on a series called Wild Medina Videos, and it's been fun. I've always, like, in the back of my mind as a little kid, I mean, it was a big, still a big Star Wars fan, and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and as a kid I was always like, oh, it'd be cool to be like to make films, and now it's I'm not even in the same league as George Lucas or Steven Spielberg, but it's fun to be able to put these videos together. I go out and record different birds, and my coworker Natalie has recorded a lot too, and I put these together. And the one actually that you'll be watching here shortly is one that I put together, and I recorded my own music too. So a lot of music out there is copyrighted, and So we didn't want to use that. So I was like, perfect opportunity to pick up my guitar again and play something. So you hear that my music in there, but it's been fun. I think the other favorite video that I put together, which is about 20 minutes, but it's on our website under the nature videos, is a bird video called "We Love Birding," and it's basically asking or talking to our volunteers about how they got into birding and why they bird. And it was just, it took me a while to put it together, but I was really happy with the results. It's one of those things that, once again, get outside into nature, go birding or whatever, just to relieve stress. If you have a stressful day, these are stressful times, obviously, just get outside. This nature has this calming ability just to calm you and relax you. And that's kind of what the video is about, more than citizen science. I mean, these are volunteers that help us do bird surveys, but it's really, why people love birding, why they got into it. So and we even have a bird bander, Gary Fowler, that was in it too, which I was really happy he was a part of, just talking about why, he spends his life, putting bans on birds, going all over the place. And even in our parks in the past, he's banned anything from a hummingbird to a bald eagle. And it's a really cool video called "We Love Birding." So make sure you watch that one, but all the other videos came out very well. I was really happy with them.
And those videos are available on the Medina Park District website?
Yeah. If you go to our website and then under I believe it's under nature, and then if you scroll down, videos, and then you click that on, and I think I sent a link that will be in this description, the video, that you can link to all those videos that we've done.
Yeah, and if someone doesn't want to try to write it down from seeing it on the screen, they can always go to the Park District website. Yep. And it's all accessible there. I think that's pretty interesting. I didn't know you were a composer. All these times we've talked, and I never knew you were a composer.
Yeah, I play. I'm not a excellent, advanced, I guess you call it, guitar player. I would say a little bit better than a beginner, but but I just, I've always, when I was younger, I played a lot of guitar, but lately I've just, picked it up and because I really felt like nature and acoustic guitar, they go together very well. So that was in the video, you'll see that I think it works well. and some of the, you can hear some of the birds singing too, the way that mostly it's the music. But there was, I think, maybe three or four of the birds that were singing that you'll hear in the video. But most of them, birds weren't singing anything. So so it was just basically music. But
well, right now, why don't we go and watch that video?
Okay.
really interesting, Mark. I had watched it before, but watching it again, you know, you see so much more. When you make these videos, just what does it mean to you?
Yeah, you know, it's, I guess the biggest thing for me is just, you know, just being out there experiencing. I'll go back to the bobolinks you'll see in the video. It's probably my favorite time of being out in the field, and it was in May when everything was kind of closed down, and just having I think there was about a dozen bobolinks. The bobolinks travel all the way to Argentina, you know, as far as Argentina for migration. So they come back like really late, and they leave really early. And it's just, they're amazing birds. So standing in this field and just seeing all these birds fly around was just amazing. And just talking about that calming effect of nature, and by capturing that on video, I wanted to show others, hey, this is something that, you know, you can do too, that you can go outside and experience this as well. So I think that's the cool thing about video. Is really, in the past, I never really filmed anything, but when all of this happened, I was just like, I need to film it. I need to show people this is cool. You know, you need to see all this, you know, experience this for yourself. And this is right in our own backyard. I mean, you don't have to go to South America to see these birds. This is something that you can see and experience in our parks. So, it was pretty amazing.
Oh, I think this is wonderful. And the thing that I really like about it is that you're making it accessible to all the people in the area. So it's not something that they don't have to be a birder to go out and enjoy this. You're not a birder.
Yeah, I would say like intermediate bird. I do okay. I'm learning, you know, as a naturalist. It's like you know, I feel like I'm not an expert in anything, but I know a little bit about something. So birding is something that I've over the last several years I've been really starting to try to learn more about. But there's always something new to learn with everything, you know, in life, and especially in nature. There's, you know, when you think you know something, then it, you know, then it's like, wait a second, this is completely different than I originally learned it. But yeah, it's just, you know, being outside and just, you know, learning the calls of birds, and that's the biggest thing is, you know, not only seeing the bird, sometimes maybe tough to see. Yes, you need a good pair of binoculars, but also like hearing, you know, knowing the songs of birds is a little bit trickier. So you know, sometimes birds will have hundreds of different of songs that they make or sounds that they make, and you know, it can be tough to ID them sometimes, but it's fun as well.
Well, I think the thing there is that you don't have to know all those hundreds of calls. It's just as enjoyable to go out and experience nature, experience just the joy of seeing, oh my gosh, there's a bird I never saw before. Or, oh, those are the birds I have in my backyard. They're here too. So I know I have enjoyed that, being home more during this time. And since I have, you know, some nice trees in the backyard, I'm amazed at the birds I've seen. I've been watching a family of cardinals that that nested nearby. I don't know where they nested, but every now and then I see them and I say, oh, there's the male cardinal and there's the female cardinal. It really makes it something that I had not experienced before. And I think that's the thing too with the park district. They open up nature to everyone.
Yeah, and you don't, and exactly like you said, you don't have to be able to ID something to be able to appreciate it. You can appreciate it. I mean, there's things that I've seen in nature that I'm like, I have no idea what that is, but you know, you still appreciate it, and that's what it's all about, is just going out and just appreciating, you know, wildlife, and you know, just being outside, and you know, that's what it's all about. So
Well, we only have a couple minutes left, and in this time, we've already seen the video, so we know that that's available on the website. Can you tell us again how to get involved in this trail program?
so yeah, just visit our website. It should be up in the one of the tabs on the front page, the Trekking Through Autumn it's called, and it's just a matter of printing out this form and just, you know, checking it off as you go. You don't have to have anybody sign it. It's all the honor system, and just make sure you fill out the bottom. Like I said, turn it in. The other cool thing I wanted to mention, another program that my coworkers came up with. I am not involved in this at all, but it's called Monthly Makers, and they have I forget what the October program is, but basically families, you sign up, you'll make something. Then this is September, where they're actually making mushrooms out of any you know, wood or any ceramics, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to have like little sections along the trail at Wolf Creek Environmental Center that the families can put out their artwork, I guess you can call it, and it'll be up for, I think, several weeks or so. But we put in the notes, you know, make sure it can survive the rain and possibly, you know, who knows, October snow or whatever. But just you know, just something different. Families can create something, put it out on our trail for a couple weeks, and then other people can come out on their own, you know, and experience, you know, what other families have created. So I think it's a cool idea. I think it's going to be popular.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for being with us. Again, the time has just flown by, so we hope that you'll be back with us again. We look forward to that, and we look forward to all of you tuning in. So for RSVP, this is Irma Baker. Thank you so much for viewing, and have a wonderful day.